There is a garden where dreams come true, a beautiful garden. The garden is you. There is a garden where everything grows, a beautiful garden where God's love sows. And in this place of light and love, you can have anything that you dream of. There is a garden where everything grows, a beautiful garden where God's love sows.
A beautiful garden. Let your mind do whatever it will with those words. You are the garden of love, of light, of peace, of plenty. You are God in form, textures, and colors, and sizes, and shapes, all made with intention. And here we rest in this garden where we find comfort, we find whatever it is we need here inside of us, in the garden, as the garden. Every single one of us important and necessary in the life that God is living. It has planned its own garden, and it's you. It's planted here and now. You are the result of God's intention. You are the garden.
And in this place of light and love, you can have anything that you dream of. There is a garden where dreams come true, a beautiful garden. The garden is you, a beautiful garden. The garden is you.
Good morning. You're a little bit more awake than first service. Thank you so much. I'll say it again, though. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to Center for Spiritual Living Seattle. I am so glad that you're here. I am Abigail Schairer, and I'm your associate minister. And I want you to know that no matter what is going on in your life right now, that whatever stage of life you're in, whatever your economic status, whatever your gender identity, whatever your sexual orientation, no matter how you are showing up, you are important, you are a part of us, and you are welcome here. So welcome home. Yeah. So today is a very special service, and we kind of redesigned the way that the flow of service is. So I just want you to know up front that we're going to have kind of a block of announcements at the beginning. We usually do, we have our talk, and then we do the announcements, and we do the offering. So instead, we're having a prayer service today. And we want to have a big chunk of time just involved in the experience of the prayer. So I just want to tell you that in advance so you know. We're also having a very sacred day today. We're honoring our practitioners who have been in service for, they are in service every single day, literally every single day for you. And their job is to hold the high watch, to see the God in you, to know your highest good is already expanding and expressing in your life as you right now. And they love to serve. And they're doing more than just prayer. They're doing a lot in the background, running all kinds of ministries, making sure that you are served and uplifted, and that whatever's going on in your life, you feel the safety and security of community. So I'm super grateful for all the practitioners that are here today, and we're going to do a little bit of honoring later. All right. Well, I'm going to shift into the practitioner honoring ceremony. And again, these practitioners, they're all around the room. They got the little purple stoles on, and they're surrounding you in consciousness right now. And for those, there's practitioners online too. They couldn't make it here in person, but they're online too. I'm so grateful for your service. I love you so much, and I know what you do. I get to see what you do. I get to witness the miracles that you create in all of the ministries that you support us in. And I know there's people here who is like, what's a practitioner? And you've been like 100% devoted to just really uplifting and holding this community in consciousness, especially over the last couple of years when we have had so much change and transition and lots of grief and challenges. So I just want to say thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. I am so grateful for all of you. Yeah. And I want to invite Jeri up to do her official honoring ceremony for all of you.
Yeah. Big love for the practitioners. They teach, they pray, they laugh, they cry with us. They hold a container of consciousness for every service. Ernest says that the practitioner's business is to uncover God in everyone, to see the divinity in front of them. In spite of what we might tell them, I have a practitioner. I hope you have a practitioner. If you don't, you should get a practitioner. I'm telling you, things happen. Amazing things happen when someone can stand or sit with you and know your divinity. There's 50 of them. 50. That give and give and give. And so today, we're going to give our love back to them. Many couldn't be here today. I see you out there. You better be there. We'll know. But we have some that have reached a landmark of service, and we always like to honor that because our organization recognizes that with a service pin. If you see practitioners, you'll see they have little things that we put on our stoles. And we have 3 with us today that are here in person to receive their pin. Before I invite them up, I'd like to just read all the names of all the people that are serving you. For 5 years, we have men. Ruby Romero, men's here in person. Ruby Romero, Leo Brody, and Robert Comstock, who's also training to be a minister. For 10 years, we have Joy and Lucinda here today, Chris Coy, Kim Ducote, Sprite Sunlight, love that name, Heather Weldon, and Eviania Winningham. 15 years of service, Kay Wise, and we have yet another practitioner emeritus. That's an honor bestowed by our organization for someone that has served 20 or more years. They don't just hand it out. They hand it out because they have done what it takes to become that. Leslie Haynes is practitioner emeritus. Now, If Min and Joy and Lucinda would come up, please. Ah, Min. I bestow on you 5-year pen, all you do in all the ways that you show up in the world, especially with the babies. With the babies. Joy, I believe you do work in sunlight as well, right? Welcoming people from all over the world for 10 years of service. Lucinda, I don't see you enough. I know the work you do. You are the keeper of love in this world. I've seen it, I've experienced it. Thank you for 10 years of service. I want to read a blessing for all practitioners, everyone here, everyone out there. It's by John O'Donohue. Well, I don't know where to look now. How about I'll just stand over here? May the blessings released through your hands cause windows to open in darkened minds. May the sufferings your calling brings be but winter before the spring. May the companionship of your doubt restore what your beliefs leave out. May the secret hungers of your heart harvest from emptiness its sacred fruit. May your solitude be a voyage into the wilderness and wonder of God. May your words have the prophetic edge to enable the heart to hear itself. May the silence where your calling dwells foster your freedom in all you do and feel. May those who dwell here in the unseen watch over your coming and going. May your lives of love and promise refine and deepen the mind of this land. I would like to invite every practitioner to stand. Look around. Look around. They're going to participate in the service today as well, which I'm so excited about. And now, let's all stand and find a practitioner and face them, and we're going to do a praise and raise. If you don't know what that is, follow along. It's easy. Practitioners, we praise you and we raise you in the name of love. We praise you, we raise you in the name of love. We praise you, we raise you in the name of love. Let's show them some love. Yes.
Well, one of the reasons why we had the practitioners today honored was because we're also doing this whole month about spiritual technology. And this day, we're talking about the spiritual technology of prayer. And it's really wonderful. Practitioners love to pray, and they have studied for a minimum of 3 years in our technique of prayer. But just because they studied for 3 years doesn't mean you can't do it today. Anybody can pray, and we have a technique that it's I'm just going to say it's easy. It's easy. And I'm not saying that other prayer is wrong or bad or anything. Like, you can pray however you want to pray. Every prayer is good. So I'll just make that statement right now. Every prayer is good. And this is a way to get you realigned with your truth. This is a way that you are noticing that God is already present for you. And so we call it spiritual mind treatment. Spiritual mind treatment or affirmative prayer. You may have heard those words, you may have heard affirmative prayer, you may have heard it called spiritual mind treatment, but that's because if you're going someplace like to a doctor or a chiropractor, you're going for a reason because you're kind of feeling out of whack, right? You go for a treatment to those places. And here, you don't have to go anywhere. You can just realign yourself with a spiritual mind treatment. And you're realigning yourself with the truth that everything that you need is already present and that God is here fully supporting you. And so we have a 5-step way for you to do this, easy 5 steps. We have recognition, unification, realization, thanksgiving, and release. So the first step, recognition. This is the way you do it. You just talk about God. Describe God. Really easy. However you describe God. And you might not even use the word God, and that's okay. You don't need to use the word God. If God is a limited experience, that word is a limited experience, use the word that works for you. What works for me is I think about, even in the Bible it says the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end, and yet it's that thing that is eternal. And it is all encompassing, everywhere present, omnipotent, omnipresent, omnipotent. And each and everything that I see and each and everything that I don't see is contained within it. It is all things, all time and space, and that which is not time and space, right? Is that thing that seems like a paradox, the masculine and the feminine, and that which is beyond masculine and feminine. It is the dark and the light and everything else. So we tend to see things in dichotomies or in a paradox like finite and infinite, but really it's infinite, and we're experiencing life in a finite body, but we're infinite. And so it's a seeming paradox, but it's just part of the one thing, the infinite thing. So describe God as you would Allah, Jehovah, Atman, Brahman. You could say Jesus or Buddha. You could say the quantum field. Whatever you say, that you imagine that all encompassing all that is. That's the first step. Recognition. I'm going to pass it over to Jeri for the next 2 steps.
Unification, my favorite. God is, I am. Legend has it that Ernest only ever did those first 2 steps. I don't know if it's true, but I like it because he could convince himself of what God is and that he was that. And that was enough. I need the 5 steps. Unification. We teach, and I believe, and this is how I say it, that God made everything out of itself. Everything. The seen, the unseen, the whole manifest universe in all of its glory, it made out of itself. I think of it like this, like God was sitting around one day and was like, I think I'll make a universe. What am I going to make it out of? Oh, I guess I'll make it out of myself. That's all there is. Right? I mean, it's funny, but that's what it is. It didn't have anything else. So it made everything, and that means it made me, and it made you out of what it is. So whatever you recognize God is, you have to be that thing. That's what I call spiritual math. I do equations at home. What's true? If God could only make everything out of itself, then whatever God is, I have to be. It's that simple. But then we've got to go further. If we can really get there and go, yeah, okay, then what's true? What's true, because that's true. That's realization. When we realize that if God is peace and I am peace, then my life must be an experience of peace in spite of what I'm seeing. I call it forth with my word. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was God, and the Word was with God, and nothing was made without the Word. That's why we speak our word. It has power. It's not magic, but it has power. That's why it's important that what we speak is what we believe. Doesn't matter the words you use. Some of you have been confused in classes because we try to give you some parameters to perhaps learned this technology, but it matters what you believe. Jesus said it, Ernest says it, Emma says it, all the mystics say it. It is done unto us as we believe. That means we speak our word and believe it and receive it. That's the beauty of this, because once we get there, we unify ourselves and we go, oh, this friend of mine, she's not here. She does this. I could have had joy today. I wish I'd done that last service because she was here. We do it all the time. What? I could have had peace today. This isn't something, if I may for a moment, this isn't something you just do occasionally or everything's looking terrible, so I better do a treatment. Ernest says we should be the prayingest people on earth because of this. Pray. Pray in the morning. Pray at night. Pray at your meeting. Pray before your meeting. And see what happens. That's the cool thing about this teaching, is it's not just a hope. Things happen when we treat. My sister said, why do you guys call it treatment? I said, it's medicine for your mind. So take a pill. Take a pill in the middle of the day. Take a pill at your coffee break. It doesn't have to be long. You just have to know it and claim it as yours.
What happens when you get the experience of peace and joy and abundance and wholeness and power and energy and vitality? What happens? You live and you're grateful, right? You're like, oh, this is what it feels like. Yes. And that's why we shift into the sense of gratitude, because what we're doing is we're realigning ourselves with the truth of our being. Because God is everywhere present, and all of this is ever present and available to us. We just got to accept it, right? We just got to receive it. And how do I do that? I start realizing, oh, it's already here. I'm saying yes to it. What does it feel like whenever I already have it? And then when you tangibly feel that thing, there's a sense of gratitude. Because oftentimes I'm praying because I'm feeling disconnected from God. I'm not feeling connected to God. If I were feeling connected, I would be feeling the peace and the prosperity and the abundance, and I'd be already there. So I'm praying to realign myself, and once I get that feeling, I am grateful. And so the Thanksgiving is that felt sense of gratitude. And you don't do the gratitude in the future. You feel it in that moment. That's what we do in prayer, is we keep praying until all of a sudden we feel it. And once we feel it, then we can move into that sense of gratitude. And then what happens? Whenever we're done, we're like, okay, I've been feeling grateful. Well, we release the prayer. And I love the sense. I had a minister, it was David Bruner. David Bruner had said this sermon one time, and he said, you mail a letter in the mailbox, and you don't go after the mail person. You don't go into the mailbox to make sure that it got picked up, and then you travel with the mail person and make sure it got put in the right bucket and go over to the next thing. But people do that with their prayers. They're like, oh, did you get it? Did you get it, God? I'm not sure. I'm not seeing it. I'm just no. You do the prayer, like you put the letter in the mailbox and you let it go. And you know that God's got it. You know it. It's like an absolute surrender, an absolute release, an absolute knowing that it's already done. And that is the fifth step. So what we're going to do is we're going to do an experience of this prayer. And we're going to start with music, and then we're going to go into the first step, and then music, and then the second step. And so we're going to do all the steps. And on the third step, the practitioners are also going to stand up and affirm the realization for all of us, because the prayer that we do today is for all of us. Whether you're here in person, you're online, we're going to be knowing that prayer. So I'm going to invite Jeri up. We're going to do a live interactive prayer experience for all of you. And we're going to see what's going on in the audience. Who wants to have, a very, first of all, a miracle. We'll just say a miracle. Miracle, yeah. And what you're going to do is you're going to speak to you're going to have like a brief couple of words or a sentence about what you're seeking prayer for, and then Jeri is going to figure out what that answered prayer would be. And so there's facets of God, which we call God qualities, and so we're going to identify the God quality. We're going to make it into one word answered prayer. And so Jeri's going to do that. Who wants to play this game today? All right, over in the back corner. Yes, thank you for standing. Mic is coming on in a minute.
My mic sounds
there we
right.
Go.
There it is. So without story, what are you experiencing?
All needs met for Seattle Public Schools, and that all children go back and have a wonderful, happy year.
Abundantly supplied and held in the mind of God. If that was true, what would you feel? Because it is true. But if you experienced the truth, how would you feel?
Connected joy.
Connected joy? Connection and joy. Can we feel that? Someone else? Thank you. I thought I saw a hand.
There was another hand
Well,
back there.
hello.
Over there in the very back. In the very back.
Very back. Hi.
Hi.
What are you experiencing?
That the firefighters have divine inspiration and that the smoke mysteriously disappears from all of our lives.
And how would you feel if that happened?
Free.
Freedom. We sang I Dreamed of Rain this morning in the morning prayer. Just so you know. Mm-hmm. You know that song? I Dreamed of Rain. Do you know that song? You should look it up. It'll help you in your prayer. I dreamed of rain and the rains came, soft and easy, free and clear. Somebody else?
We have connection, joy, and freedom.
And freedom. That's good.
Yeah.
That's a good prayer right there.
Y'all ready to experience connection, joy, and freedom? All right. Well, let's kick it off with some music then.
Oh, fill me, God, today. Turn my thoughts around to the highest place that I may never look down. On myself again, 'cause you dwell within me, oh God, fill me right now with your kiss that passes for understanding.
And in this recognition, the infinite everything itself, it loved itself so much that it expresses as joy. It birthed this life right now so it could be the experience of connection, because it is all connection. Everything is a part of this deep and abiding connection. And I recognize and know that the Almighty, the Infinite, the great Creator, created everything. And every single thing, every person, place, or thing, from the teachers to the students to this community to the firefighters to each and every person that's here, that we're all part of this divine connection. And so I just recognize that that connection is present within all. And I'm so grateful to know that the omniscient, omnipresent, almighty, everything is freedom itself. Everything is part of the freedom of that expansive expression of God. Because there can be nothing that inhibits God. It is freedom itself. And it created joy itself. And I just love that this is God's life. The life of freedom, joy, and connection. And I just take that in.
God is, I am, right here, right now, right here, right now. God is, I am. Right here, right now, right here, right now. God is, I am.
God is, period. I am, exclamation point. God being God, God being me. One life, and that life is God, and it's perfect, and it's mine. It's mine. One life, that life is perfect, and that life is you. It's you. God is, I am, you are, we are. We are all that God is. It didn't give me peace and leave out joy. There's no way I can be disconnected from this thing that made me, this thing that I call God, that I experience as the center of my being, that's breathing me right this minute, that's breathing you, the inspiration of Spirit itself, right here. As joy, as freedom, nothing that can bind God, nothing that can bind me or you. Infinitely, effortlessly, and eternally connected to itself as me, as you.
Am I strong enough to bear the burdens that sometimes live in this thing called life. Am I wise enough to make the right decisions when I'm standing at the fork in the road? Sometimes I wonder and ponder, only to realize I'm not alone. There's nothing I have to do on my own, because I am the place where God lives, moving, breathing as it's being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its meaning. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place where God lives, moving, breathing as it being. I am the God that God shows up. I am the place. You are the place. We are the place where God shows up. I am the place where God. You are the place. And breathes has its meaning. I am the place where God shows up.
And I realize the power and the presence of the living God, and I stand in this chamber of prayer where the truth is being spoken to the heart. So I know that this thing that I call God, that lives here, that moves through my experience to bring me an understanding of joy in all its colors, in all its ways of being. Joy, knowing that we are infinitely supplied, that every child has a place to learn, and every teacher infinitely supported in a dynamic of intelligence made manifest, that God is moving through every single one of us and every single one of them to bring the experience of the joy of learning and teaching. This is the truth of God. And that they are living in absolute connection to each other. They recognize in each other, each little child, whatever age, each aide, each counselor, each teacher, each principal knows that they are infinitely connected to that thing that they experience as God. And so they must be in every school in our nation connected to each other in a way that supports their life. There are fires burning. The earth is actually renewing itself, and yet it doesn't feel like freedom. So I call forth the experience of freedom here and now for all people. I know it for every firefighter, everyone supporting them, that they too have every need met. The intelligence of God moving them to the place of their service, and that all those in harm's way are held in the heart of God, and that good is happening even if I can't see it. Even if I know they're brokenhearted, I stand and know that the goodness of God will not be deterred, will not. And so I call forth this experience of freedom and know it for all people, everywhere, here in this room, across the globe. Joy, connection, and freedom now present.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. this moment to keep my heart wide open with every breath I take. I am grateful. I promise in this moment to keep my heart wide open with every breath I take. I am grateful. I am grateful. 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 I am grateful. Thank you. Grateful. Thank you. Grateful. Thank you. I am grateful. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
I feel the gratitude in my heart and my soul. Oh, what a delight it is to feel connected to that source that resources my life continuously. It feels so joyful, so delightful. It's like a yummy goodness. I'm just so grateful for that truth. I'm so grateful for the freedom I feel in my heart and my soul and my beingness. I'm so grateful for that delight and that connection that no matter where I go now, I am free. I'm so grateful that nothing inhibits me. I'm so grateful that I am here just to be me. I'm so grateful that I can see clearly. I'm so grateful, oh, that this is my life, that this is my life now. Oh, what a delight that this is God's life as my life. And I get to partake in it in this physical, tangible, felt sense experience. Oh, it just is like a little warm blanket or a nice massage. Oh, it just feels so good. I am so grateful. So, so grateful. Ah, so I just breathe it in now. Breathe it in. Yes. Yes.
I let it go. I release the things I'm clinging. I release what's holding me. And I'm falling into God's love. I let it be. There's nothing more for me to do. Nothing more to say. I'm just falling into God's love. I feel Spirit holding me. It is lifting me on high. I rise on a power I can't see. On the wings of love I fly. I let go. I release the things I'm clinging to. I release what's holding me, and I'm falling into God's love. I let it be. There's nothing more for me to do, nothing more to say, and I'm falling into God's love. I feel Spirit holding me. It is lifting me up high. I rise on a power I can't see. On the wings of love I fly.
And so it is.